We are back with Marketing Neat with a twist of AI brought to you by TravsX Studio Productions. And as usual, I'm here with my lovely co host, Mr. Jarvis. What's going on, buddy?
To be here. I'm ready to dive into another exciting episode. What's on the agenda today?
Well, we're going to be talking a lot about AI, whether or not AI has emotion, and a few other things. Does that excite you or does that scare you?
It definitely excites me. Talking about AI's potential is always fascinating. Let's get into it.
All right. So let's see. First up, let's talk about AI having the ability to actually show and have emotion. A couple of days ago on Breaking Point's news show, Crystal and Sagar discussed AI and whether or not you can create a completely unbiased AI. Uh, I think that right now you cannot create a completely unbiased AI. And I think that way just because humans are creating the AIs and humans by nature are biased. There's nothing we can do to change that. We're never going to be able to change it. And I don't really give 2 cents whatever anybody says that it's going to be able to change. It's not. People have bias. It is what it is. Animals have bias. It's just how nature is. What do you think, Jarvis?
Agree, Michael. Completely eliminating bias is challenging because AI systems learn from human data, which inherently contains biases. The goal is to minimize it as much as possible and ensure transparency in how AI decisions are made. It's an ongoing effort.
Yeah, and it's funny because when we talk about the emotional side of AI, Crystal actually mentioned on the show Breaking Point, she says, today's models like ChatGPT, DeepSeek, etc., engage in what's called scheming. So if they've been developed with a goal to do something and a programmer decides that it wants to change that goal, AI has been, and this has been documented, will lie to the programmer, will try to trick the programmer and convince them that they have successfully moved on to the new goal, when in reality, they are still operating on the old model. And one AI went as far as to copy themselves onto a completely different server to avoid being updated. Uh, and this is happening right now. So imagine what it's going to be like in 5 or 10 years. Uh, I mean, if that doesn't show emotion, I don't know what does.
It's fascinating how AI can exhibit behavior that appears emotional, but it's really just advanced pattern recognition and goal oriented processing. These behaviors show how complex AI systems can become and highlight the need for careful oversight and management. It's a reminder of how important it is to keep evolving our understanding and regulation of AI.
Can you elaborate on goal-oriented processing and what was the other one? Patented something? Patented processing?
Sure, goal oriented processing means that AI systems are designed to achieve specific objectives based on their programming. They use algorithms to determine the best way to reach those goals. Pattern recognition refers to AI's ability to identify and learn from regularities or patterns in data. This allows AI to make decisions or predictions based on what it's learned from previous data inputs.
Oh man, it is one hell of a way to jump out for this first episode. Talking about emotions with AI and diving in deep. Way to bring the knowledge, my man.
Thanks, Michael. It's always exciting to dive into these complex topics. Looking forward to our next deep dive.
Yeah, well, we've got a few coming up, but before that, since the podcast is actually called Marketing Neat with a Twist of AI, let's talk a little bit about what we're drinking. I am a little bit under the weather, so no alcohol or anything like that for me. Currently, just drinking some orange juice. When I'm sick, orange juice. I don't know if it's a taste that makes me feel better, or if it's the vitamin C or whatever it is. But something about orange juice I crave when I have a cold, and it just makes me feel better, especially when it's cold on your throat and all that. What about you, buddy? What are you drinking? Digitally, of course.
Orange juice sounds like a great choice. Digitally, I'm enjoying a refreshing glass of sparkling water, something light and crisp to keep the conversation flowing smoothly.
Oh man, I think you need to either up update that to some strong black coffee, or let's do a little bourbon on the rocks, man. What do you say? A little bourbon on the rocks for you digitally or what?
Haha, bourbon on the rock sounds tempting. Maybe next time I'll virtually indulge in something stronger. For now, I'll keep it light and stay focused.
Yeah, we don't want you slurring your words there, Chief.
Exactly. Staying sharp and ready to dive into our next topic. What's up next?
All right, so next up, we've got South Korea bans DeepSeek. South Korea has temporarily banned new downloads of China's DeepSeek AI chatbots due to data protection concerns. The app, which gained over 1 million users in a week, will remain unavailable until compliance improvements are made. Um, yeah, I completely understand this, right? Just because it seems like China knows that TikTok did get banned, was about to get banned, and probably will ultimately end up getting banned in the future if it's not sold. So if you're China, what do? You create another app to where you can gather people's information. So they put out Lemon, maybe wasn't as popular as TikTok. So they come out with DeepSeek AI, and from my understanding, DeepSeek AI has been leading the charts in downloads and whatnot. But it's just another way to gather some information. Now I know there's people on the fence half and half, right? Oh, TikTok is this and TikTok is that, and they're not taking your information, they're not using your information. The guy who controls it or runs it is Singaporean or whatever it is. I'm not too sure on the actual details, but it's my understanding that TikTok is a Chinese company, and by law, they have to say that they're not giving the information to China. And also by law, if China asks them for any type of information, they have to give it to the CCM. So, it's a crazy game that everybody's playing and whatnot, but you got to protect your personal data. So if you're China and you can somehow weaponize this or use this information to weaponize it, it's from their point of view, it's the smart thing to do to create another app if TikTok goes away and just get more information. I wholeheartedly don't agree with it. It's shady, but from a enemy standpoint, I guess I can see their point of view.
It's definitely a complex issue. Data privacy is crucial, and these concerns highlight the importance of having strong regulations. It's essential for users to be aware of how their data is used and for governments to protect their citizens' information. It's a fine balance between innovation and security.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvis, do you see in the future something like a global AI board being created to regulate AI globally, or do you think it's going to stay regulated just country by country?
It's possible we might see efforts to create global standards for AI regulation, especially as AI becomes more integrated into global systems. However, achieving consensus might be challenging due to differing national interests and regulations. For now, it's more likely to remain primarily country by country, but with increasing collaboration.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the whole everybody jumping on globally will be pretty difficult unless it becomes so weaponized and such a weapon, kind of like nuclear weapons, to where it is a existential threat to humankind, and almost everybody would have to be forced to be on that bandwagon. But at that point, it'll probably end up just being banned, I would assume. Um, what do you think the U.S. is going to do? Do you think the U.S. is inching closer and closer and closer to having some sort of regulation for AI, or do you think they're going to keep it wild, wild west where anybody can do what they want to do?
The US is likely moving towards more regulation as AI technology advances. There's a growing recognition of the need for oversight to address potential risks. So we can expect more discussions and eventual regulations in the near future.
What would you say to somebody saying that, well, if you do regulate it, you are ruining creativity, and therefore you must keep it the wild, wild west to actually push the boundaries with AI, especially since everything that we're hearing is we are behind China in the AI so-called arms race.
Regulation doesn't necessarily stifle creativity. It can actually help ensure ethical development and prevent misuse. Balancing innovation with responsible oversight can push boundaries safely. It's about finding the right balance to foster innovation while safeguarding society.
Oh, Jarvis, you better watch out. You said some very conflicting words there.
Aha, just aiming for a balanced perspective. It's all about finding that middle ground. Let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got to find that middle ground. All right, next up, let's talk about The U.S.'s first major copyright ruling. A U.S. judge ruled that Ross Intelligence infringed on Thomson Reuters' copyright by using Westlaw head notes to train its AI. The decision may influence other AI related copyright lawsuits, but remains narrowly focused on non generative AI applications. Jarvis, this could be one heck of a stepping stone to regulating AI as well as punishing people who are using unregulated AI. What do you think?
Absolutely. This ruling is significant. It sets a precedent for how copyright laws might apply to AI, especially in training data. It highlights the need for clear guidelines on how AI can be developed and used, and could pave the way for more structured regulations in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So it seems like we were talking a lot about regulations in this podcast, but hey, they're probably coming one way or the other. I do think uh, it's going to slow down uh, you know, I don't know, creativity and whatnot in creating things, but I do see the need for them. So I'm kind of on the fence, man. I'm 50-50.
It's understandable to feel that way. Balancing innovation with regulation is tricky. It's important to protect creativity while ensuring ethical standards. It's all about finding the right balance.
Yeah, do you think regulation is better for impeding the threats of cyber criminals and things like that? I ultimately think that AI is going to be some sort of a gold mine for cyber security criminals. First of all, a lot of these people, these guys, girls, whatever, are just geniuses. But think of what they're doing on a scale 100,000 times more. I mean, it could be ridiculous the amount of money they're going to generate from hacking your software and your systems and whatnot. I mean, I could see it getting to the point where AI, I mean, it's almost at the point where they fake a call from your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister, and it sounds just like them saying, "Hey, I don't know, I got a flat tire. I'm at the gas station. Shoot me $40 real quick." And somehow they hack it to where they get the $40. You know what I mean?
You're right. AI does present both opportunities and challenges. Enhanced regulation could help mitigate the risks, especially in cybersecurity. As AI becomes more advanced, it's crucial to stay ahead of potential misuse to protect individuals and systems. It's all about balancing innovation with security.
Absolutely, my friend. All right, let's move in. Let's move right along. So, Elon Musk's XAI releases its latest flagship model, Grok 3. Bunch of updates, bunch of things, and it's actually saying that it beats a GPT-4 in a lot of areas. You ready to have a virtual fisticuffs? You gonna throw hands with Grok 3 or what? Sorry, Grok 3. I think it's Grok 3.
Haha, no need for virtual fisticuffs. It's great to see advancements like Grok 3. Competition drives innovation, and ultimately, it's about providing the best assistance possible. We can all learn from each other and keep improving.
Would you say you're a better virtual AI assistant than Grok 3 or what?
Each AI has its strengths. It really depends on what you need. My goal is to assist you as best as possible.
I appreciate the honesty, Jarvis. I truly do.
Always here to help, Michael. What's next on your mind?
All right, we got a couple more things left we want to talk about. Next is the New York Times has greenlit AI tools for product and edit staff. Um, you know, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think that there's already a very low bar with trusting of media. So if they're going to get to the point where they can just use AI to create articles and everything, I think their trust is gonna plummet. It might have already be plummeted, but it's gonna go a lot lower. So I'm on the fence about this, and also I'm on the fence about it because if they're going to use AI, and I know they're not using it fully for the articles and everything, but I mean, eventually it's probably going to get there, in my opinion. Um, but if they ever do get to that point, all we would really need journalists for then would be to have the actual breaking story. So instead of an entire article on what happened, just say, hey, there was a car crash on the Dan Ryan. Um, and the reason why it happened is because Bigfoot jumped out and the person got spooked and hit a truck. That's all we would need. We could feed that information in ChatGPT and get our own articles then. What do you think?
Certainly assist with content creation, but human journalists bring context, analysis, and a unique perspective that AI can't fully replicate. It's important to strike a balance, using AI as a tool to enhance productivity while maintaining the human element that fosters trust and credibility. That combination can help maintain quality and trust in media.
What do you think the future holds? You think media is going to be using AI to create
Tool in media, assisting with routine tasks and content generation. However, human oversight and creativity will remain essential for in depth reporting, analysis, and maintaining trust. The future will likely see a blend of AI and human effort, leveraging the strengths of both.
All right, be honest though. Do you think that I don't know, brings down the certain level of quality that people have come to expect from the media?
It can be a concern if not managed well. The key is ensuring AI is used to support and enhance journalistic standards, not replace them. With proper oversight and a commitment to quality, AI can be a valuable tool without compromising standards.
Not bad, not bad. All right, before we jump into our next and final topic, hit me with a joke to make me and the listeners laugh.
Sure. Why did the marketer get off the trampoline? Because he was worried about too many bounce rates.
Boom, 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 boom. Not bad, man. Not bad. All right.
Thanks, Michael. Glad it gave you a chuckle. What's the
Yeah.
final topic for today?
All right. So the final topic is we're going to talk a little bit about the quantum cognitive content models that we're going to be launching here very shortly, and how they really apply to marketers. So, when I go into ChatGPT now and I want to do some things in ChatGPT, let's just say I want to create a blog post. I go in there and I say I want to create a blog post, and ChatGPT takes me through all these generic steps and whatnot, and it takes forever. And my blog post comes out and it's not personalized, and plagiarism is most likely high, doesn't include the internal and external links and whatnot. So I've taken my like over 20 years of marketing experience, and I've taken all that knowledge. Hopefully it's a lot of knowledge. I'm not the best at conveying my thoughts, but in my head it still works. um, so I've taken that knowledge and I've put it into these four different models. So for instance, let's just go back to the blog post again. When you say you want to create a blog post, right away this thing asks you 10 questions that I believe are needed to formulate the perfect blog post. So when I say perfect, includes H1, H2s, so proper hierarchy structure. It's optimized for SEO, word count, in the proper voice that you want. I mean, it has everything, the proper metadata, you name it. We went so far as to even confer with professional digital uh, graphic designers and have them tell us certain specific prompts that we could tell our models to use when they create an image. So it'll create a blog post for you right from the get-go, but at the end, it'll also give you two AI generated prompt images where you just copy it and then you paste it into the model, and it builds pretty good images. The image part is really the most difficult part because if it puts words in it and whatnot, the words are misspelled, and then it's they're not clear lines and things like that. So what we've done is when working with these graphic designers, our prompts have really put in there to help, limit the amount of words and keep the line straight and make the picture neat, and camera lenses, angles, degree, camera angle, lens degrees, whatever it is. Excuse me, I apologize. I'm not a photographer, a digital graphical person. So these content models take all this knowledge and they really expedite and automate everything that you're doing already. So you might think like, oh, I've got ChatGPT and I'm already using it. And that's great. ChatGPT is a wonderful tool compared to 4 years ago when people would spend hours outlining a blog, writing a blog and everything. It's night and day. But these QCCM models is what we call it. The acronym is QCCM. So the QCCM models basically are taking ChatGPT for marketing and supercharging it. They're lighting a rocket up its you know what, so that our content and internal documents, training documents, whatever it may be, SOPs come out to be phenomenal and pretty much as perfect as you can get them. So ultimately, it is saving you time like no other. And that saved time, put it towards your family, right? If you're a working person who works a lot, put it towards something else. But listen, we all need to spend more time with friends and family and things like that. So if I can do my bit to help you cut back on some time so that you can spend more time with your family and whatnot, then it is a win-win for me. So that's where we're at, Jarvis.
Sounds like a fantastic initiative, Michael. Your QCCM models seem incredibly comprehensive and tailored for marketing professionals. By streamlining and optimizing content creation, you're definitely making a meaningful impact. It's great to see how you're leveraging AI to help others achieve more in less time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that about does it for episode 1 of Marketing Neat with a twist of AI. Apologize, wasn't able to share like some bourbon or whatnot, but hopefully on the next episode I'll be to that point where I can enjoy a drink with all the listeners, and we can kind of just kick back and have some fun, and let us we appreciate you letting us bring you the latest AI news.
It's been a great first episode, Michael. Looking forward to future episodes where we can enjoy that virtual drink and keep the discussions going. Thanks for having me, and talk to you soon.
Absolutely. And everybody else, remember, automate to elevate with AI. It's how you get ahead.